There's this coronavirus problem that we're having that everybody seems to be getting laxed about as if everything is okay and everything is over. But I'm about to pull up here is going to be some articles that let us know that shit has just got real. Again, soon as you think we out the woods, here comes this bull. Here we go. We have the UK to thank for this one, right? Here we go with the UK super COVID has now spread to every state in the US. It says the coronavirus variant was first identified in the UK, has now spread to every single state in the US. As of Tuesday, Oklahoma became the final state to confirm infections linked to the strand known as the B117 virus. There are currently at least 15,511 cases of the variant across the country, including in the District of Columbia, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. December 2020, the U.S. has only been performed genome sequencing for about 0.3% of all people who tested positive for COVID-19. It says an epidemiologist tells the dailymail.com that this is not enough and that the CDC and its partners need to accelerate and speed up the testing, as much as tripling the capacity, because the federal government is lacking data on how quickly variants spread and even potentially missing new mutations that may crop up. So here we got this super goddamn virus that is now in the US. And this is very troubling. It's very, very troubling. And the reason it's so troubling is because I'm going to read this next article to let you know why this goddamn new variant, this UK super COVID, is a damn problem, right? I'm about to read this next article, and this is going to have you, if you like me, it's going to be like, wow. So as soon as we think that it's over, the vaccine's, oh, we're all saved and we're going to be doing 4th of July this year, and we're coming out for summer, and I'm finally going to be able to wear my booty shorts again. Think again, because it seems like this nightmare, this is the real nightmare. Seems like this nightmare just keeps getting worse. This is breaking news. This just came out. This news just hit a few minutes ago. It says the UK super COVID-19 variant is now the dominant strand of coronavirus in the US. This is coming from the White House. It is now the dominant strand. It's not, I just read the article that was from a few days ago where they realized, and then I don't understand because they obviously have this information. Why the hell are we always finding out so far down the road and so late to the party, right? Because they just dropped that other article a few days ago because I'm tracking this, and then a few days later, they dropped this article. Now, there's no way within 3 or 4 days that the virus, we could have just found that the UK virus was in America, and then 3 or 4 days later, we find out, oh, it's the dominant strand, right? So they been knew that this goddamn monster virus was creeping around, and old Sleepy Joe and the Democrats who now control the messaging that's coming to the American public is doing the same shit Trump is doing by not being upfront and not keeping people informed of what the hell's going on. All this shit waiting to the last minute to keep us up to date. We need to get information as soon as you get the goddamn information so we can protect ourselves. I don't see why the hell they drop these news and it's like they're holding on. Obviously, if the UK virus is here and it's a super virus and it's already in the US, obviously that shit has been here for a minute for it to now be the dominant strand. It has been circulating for a while now. So why the hell are they just now coming out telling us? And I'm looking and I keep track of this. So this information is new. It says the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention for the CDC, Dr. Rochelle, announced that the variant has now been found in all 50 U.S. states and territories, in 2 of the territories. It is now the most prevalent form of the virus, period, Walensky said. So the CDC predicted in January that the super COVID B117 variant that emerged in the U.S. would be the dominant strand by March. But as vaccines accelerated, the variant spread more slowly than predicted. It says the B117 is thought to be between 50 and 70% more infectious and up to 64% more deadly than previous dominant strands of the virus. This is the key information. This shit is 50 to 70% more infectious and damn near 65% more deadly. So this means if it's 64% more deadly and we've already done had over 500,000 goddamn deaths, you do the math. Because compared to the population, you can say, well, this don't seem to be, the coronavirus didn't seem to be that deadly. Because even I was saying, well, maybe they just overplayed it in some aspects. But now if we're going to start talking about 64% more deadly, this is a game changer, right? Because some shit that might have been manageable or feasible or haven't hit you because you haven't really been able to notice it, when you increase it by 64%, that's going to be a notable difference. Now, the next thing I'm going to get to is the vaccines. And we're going to talk about the new variants and these dumbass people who keep putting all their eggs in one basket, right? Vaccine, 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 right? Knowing that we have new variants popping up all the goddamn time, knowing that they're becoming more infectious, knowing that they're becoming more deadly, and then to not have no plan B or no backup plan or no contingency plans, right? To put everything in this boat of these vaccines. This is why I know that there's going to be a lot of trouble ahead. Instead of pushing to let people know they need to get healthy, take care of your body, get your body in shape, exercise, make sure you're getting the right amount of sleep, change your diet. Instead of doing other things that you can be telling people to do to help increase their chances of survival, or to, be okay if the worst was to happen. Not be okay, but let's say, be okay, because meaning that you have the best possible chance to actually survive and overcome if you get sick, be able to beat it, right? But no, everybody think they can go to into a doctor or to a hospital and get a damn shot, and the shot or the doctor's gonna they'll fix everything. Guess what? Plenty of people die all the time that go to the doctor. I didn't know if you know this. plenty of people that go to the doctor and get treatments die all the goddamn time. There's no guarantee. Doctor not gonna be able to always save you, man. The best line of defense you're gonna have is your goddamn self. By the time you need to go see the doctor, you already in trouble. So I'm just saying, man, it says, it goes further on to say, but it does not seem to weaken vaccines, unlike less common variants that emerged in South Africa and Brazil. The CDC's tracker reports just 16,275 confirmed cases of the UK variant, in addition to 386 of the South African B1351 variant and 356 cases of the Brazilian P1 variant. There's so many different variants, and this is not even all the variants. This is just 3 of the variants that they're talking about, because it's almost like every country, every territory has its own variant. We got certain states with their own variant. I think California has a variant. New York has a variant. It says coronavirus variants may be to blame for cases increasing or more than 10% over the past 2 weeks in states like Florida, Michigan, with more confirmed variant cases, in states with 3,192 and 1,649 respectively. So we're not out the woods yet. To have everybody thinking that these vaccines are gonna fix everything, to me, is foolish, especially with these mutations. And it seems to me that this is a super virus, because they keep now saying super variant. No, the whole damn COVID-19 is just a super goddamn virus by itself. Because it just seems the more that you're gonna come up with vaccines to try to beat this virus, the more you're making the virus mutate. And the more this goddamn virus seems to mutate, the bigger, the stronger, the badder it's getting. So they're trying to say the reason the virus is mutating is because it's affecting so many people, and the more people it infects, the more chances that it's gonna have to spread, and the more it spreads, the more it's gonna mutate. But also you gonna come out with these vaccines, which is forcing the virus to have to mutate and adjust. Because what is the whole purpose of life? And it is to live. So if you're gonna come out with vaccines that's gonna try to stop the reproduction of the virus, then the virus is going to mutate. Life is going to find a way. So each time you come up with a vaccine or some way to put a stop to the virus, to me, that would seem to make the virus mutate more. Because it's like, okay, well, now you got this cure or this hurdle we got to overcome. Hey, fellas, let's change up. And then they go ahead and it mutates. And then, so eventually what I'm saying is, because that's what happens with every virus, right? The flu and the shot from the year before is not necessarily going to work on the flu from this year, for this year. Right? If you got the flu shot in 2019, don't mean that same flu shot is going to work on the flu in 2020. So my point being is, I don't know, with all this vaccine shit and everybody getting treated, that's cool. I'm not against vaccines. I'm not taking one right now, but I don't knock anybody who do or don't. It's your choice. But it just would seem to me that the more that you have these vaccines going out there, of course the virus wants to thrive and it wants to live. So the more the virus is going to mutate because you're trying to kill it. So I don't know how this is going to pan out, but if I got a bank on, because I'm not 100% sure that the virus wasn't man-made. Like I'm leaning to the fact that this might be a man-made virus due to a host of factors. One being that the virus doesn't do well outside, And if it was made in nature and it wasn't man-made, I always say, why the hell would the virus not, it should spread better and be good outside. This spreads more and does better in the inside. Right, not outside of nature, but in the inside of man-made areas. So if a virus that was made outside of nature, from God or from nature, or from whatever you want to call it, if it was formed outside, why the hell would the virus not be effective outside? Right, like sunlight can kill the virus. Why the hell would the virus be created in nature where it can't withstand sunlight? So that didn't make no goddamn sense to me. Right. Secondly, that animals don't contract the virus as easily as humans. If the virus was transferred from a bat in Wuhan, from from a Wuhan what do you call it? Where they sell food and whatnot, live food. If that's where the virus transferred from an animal, why the hell is it way more transmissible in humans than it is in animals? Now I gotta ask myself, if this virus came from nature and it wasn't man-made and it was made in the wild, shouldn't the virus be more transmissible amongst animals, because that's where it came from and where it was made at? No, this virus barely spreads amongst the animals, but it spreads amongst humans like a champ, like a pro. So that further lets me say that this virus may be man-made, in my opinion. These are just logical, sensible things that you can think of when you hear them and say, that makes sense. First of all, the virus doesn't do well outside. It does better inside. Second of all, the virus can't withstand sunlight. Sunlight kills the virus. Thirdly, the virus transmits better in humans than animals. Again, a virus that was made in nature that came from animals should transmit better in goddamn animals. Now, why would it transmit better in humans? That makes no goddamn sense. So I'm not even 100% sold that this is a virus that was made in nature. But what I will say is this: it don't matter if it was man-made or not man-made. At this point, nature has got a hold of this shit. And it may have started off in the lab some damn where, but now it's released into nature, into our environment, and now it's doing this thing. So if it's gonna be between this virus or humans, like, I'm gonna take and say that the virus is probably gonna be more efficient. And you tweaking these vaccines and keep talking about, we gonna tweak this here, we gonna tweak that there, and we need to get a booster shot, and oh, now you need to get 3 shots, and you might need to get a shot every year, and all this crazy shit. Before nature makes a mistake, humans will, right? So do I take my chances with the vaccines, or do I take my chances with the virus? Again, I go by the premise that before nature makes a mistake, humans will wind up mucking some shit up. So this is why I'm not even hesitant on 100%, totally hesitant on these vaccines. My problem with these vaccines is that now they're talking about tweaking them, and that's where my concern is going to come in at. When we start talking about tweaking, what do you mean tweaking? Because I know what happens when you start tweaking. So it'll be interesting to see what y'all think about this shit. But this is why I do these lives, to keep everybody up to date on what's going on. And like I say, I'm still not 100% sold that this virus wasn't made by man. But now that it's unleashed into the nature, it's off to the goddamn races. And again, now you got the UK variant that is the dominant strand here. Cases are starting to go back up. And this shit is not only about 70% more contagious, but it's about 65% more deadly. And there's other stories that I just read. Now they're showing that there are neurological effects from this virus. People are having 4-6 months later where people are catching Alzheimer's, people are catching dementia, right? And those are in the severe cases. But in other cases, there are mental deficiencies happening amongst a large portion of people who get COVID-19. And that's any variant. So this is why I kept saying I need to wait to see what the hell's gonna happen, man. Everybody, oh yeah, I'm recovering, you good, 1 month, 2 months. Let's see what happens 6 months, 8 months down the line. Now data's actually starting to come in, and they saying like a third of the patients who get this is having some type of mental health problems. It is with them neurologically, and it's with your mental health, right? In most cases, it's saying that it's affecting you through anxiety, depression, but in other cases, it's giving people dementia and Alzheimer's, heart attack, and strokes. So that's also going on. And I got an article here that highlights that fact. I don't know if I can find the actual article, but in any event, whether I find the article or not, this is what we're here for information. Anyway, this shit is causing neurological effects. So everybody thinking you catching COVID and you out the woods and you don't know nobody who died from it. Hey, death is not the only thing to goddamn worry about. I've been saying that from day one. So like, again, now you're having people that's having mental health. We talking dementia, man. Could you imagine this? Getting Alzheimer's, and this shit is causing dementia. And that's from the variants that we know about. That's not no telling about variants that are like this new shit that we got that they're just now studying. This is old information, old data that I've been able to research and look up from just digging into this shit, right? This shit is causing causing mental health. And I said that it was causing mental health problems from all the stories I'm doing, where you got kids killing kids at schools. You got a mass shooting every week, right? Everything is went up. You got Joe Biden is about to pass an executive order on guns. I'm gonna do a story on that tomorrow. But my point being is, at the end of the day, is that this virus is we are still in the learning stages for this virus. We're still figuring shit out for this virus, and the virus is still doing its thing, meaning that the virus is gonna do what the virus do. It's gonna mutate and it's going to get more efficient. And the more it feels like it's being under attack, the more we kind of come up with some shit to take it out, the more the shit is going to mutate and because of course, like I say, that's the whole purpose of life, is to survive, right? Life is going to find and make a way. That's how we all got created and became what we call human beings. Life finds a way. When you think you can snuff it out, you think you're gonna get rid of it, life always finds a way. So the more you try to attack this damn virus, it just seems like the bigger and the badder this shit is getting. Right? Oh, you gonna come at me with that vaccine? Well, wow, let me come at you with this variant. Take that, motherfucker. Oh, you got that for me? Well, bam, here, take that. Let me come back at you with this. And it's starting to get to a point to where, at this point, I don't think that the government I don't even trust that the government would come out and say that the vaccines are useless if they were to become useless to certain variants. Like there might be some variants out there where the vaccine may not work against, because they're so intent on getting everybody vaccinated that I know the government is willing to lie or cover shit up, because they have invested so much of their capital in everybody taking the vaccine. Way too much money. We talking about hundreds of billions of dollars have been invested into this project. And you think that they're going to come out and just say, oops, we were wrong, even if they were wrong? Now, I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong or not, but what I am saying is, I've already read study after study where some of the vaccines, the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the Johnson & Johnson, are less effective against certain variants, right? Like the South African variant, for instance, I think it showed that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was only 57% effective against one of the variants. This is basically you can get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and it's just a 50-50 chance. It's a coin flip. You get sick or you don't get sick. And the Moderna and the Pfizer also had depletions in efficacy levels when it came to certain variants. And the more that this virus mutates and the stronger this fucking virus gets, then obviously the bigger the problem is going to be. And I don't see the US government coming out and saying, oh, well, we got to go back to the drawing board because such and such variant, this vaccine is no longer useful against it. Right? They'll never admit. And this is why people have no faith. Man, you can look at poll after poll. Nobody has faith in the government. So they sit here and try to shame people and act like, wow, I'm worried about taking the goddamn vaccine that came from the government that nobody trusts. Nobody in America. If you trust the government, you a fool. I don't know about you gonna trust no vaccine. I don't know about if you gonna trust this or trust that. But if you trust the US government, you are a goddamn fool. And my stance is I don't trust the government in no way, shape, or form. Almost every goddamn thing they say is a lie. So of course I'm going to be hesitant on taking that vaccine, especially being that the vaccine is not FDA approved yet. I keep going over. I'm gonna repeat this. The vaccine, none of the vaccines, the Moderna, the Johnson & Johnson, or the Pfizer vaccine has been FDA approved. The our government won't even approve the vaccines, yet they're trying to tell everybody to get vaccinated. Now you tell me what sense that goddamn make. Okay, so now you got these new variants. It's trouble in Maples. It's the dominant strand now. It's in every goddamn state and 2 territories. And we're going to keep an eye on it and see what's going to happen.